attach the railing to the house, and then I needed to cut out the railing where it was actually embedded into the concrete, which with the sawzall equipped with the metal blade, it wasn't too bad. Repeat this process on both sides and perform touch-up work as needed. And before actually installing the new railing, I resurfaced the concrete porch, and that was my previous video, which I'll link above if you want to check it out. So at this point, it's time to actually order your railing, and I'm going with the Black Cool system from Muzata, and they actually reached out to me because they saw my back deck wire railing video, which I'll link there, which also used some of their products. So literally all I did was send them a picture of the porch. Here's like the actual picture I sent them with a couple dimensions. They designed everything, gave me this spreadsheet, which has all the materials listed and also has links to each of the products online, and they sent me everything to install, which we're going to do right now. So first things first, we need to establish and mark the railing post locations, and you want to do this using either a chalk line or a laser level as shown. You want your post to be in a straight line. It's as simple as that. Next, preliminarily place your railing posts on the concrete and mark the anchor bolt locations, which will typically be 4 per post with a Sharpie so you can see the location on the concrete. After marking the anchor bolt locations, you want to take a carbide tipped masonry bit and pre-drill the holes for the anchor bolts. Set the depth of the drill bit so it goes slightly deeper than the total length of your anchor bolt, and use a drill bit that is the same diameter as the anchor bolts that are going to be used to anchor the post to the concrete. Refer to the video description for more of a narrative on what size bits to use depending on the anchor bolts, and I almost forgot, make sure you get rid of any dust either with a blower or a vacuum before proceeding. Repeat the post marking and pre-drilling process for all of the posts needed for your project. Luckily for me, I only needed 6 posts, but God help you if you have a project that involves like 42. Good luck. And if you're enjoying these slow-mo shots of dust, hit that like button in a slow-mo fashion or regular speed. Repeat this process for all of the posts in your project, and then we're going to install the anchor bolts to actually secure the posts. An anchor bolt works by tightening down, and that increases the diameter at the bottom by causing the metal to flare out, fitting snugly around the surrounding concrete. So take your posts, put them over the holes that you pre-drilled, and then take your concrete expansion anchors and insert them through the bottom of the post and into the pre-drilled holes. You should need to use a hammer to actually get these to fit snugly within the hole, and once you get all of them tapped into place, use a socket wrench to just give the post an initial tighten. Don't fully tighten at this point. Use a post level to make sure that your post is perfectly vertical and plumb, and if it's not, you might have to use some plastic shims underneath. Unfortunately, in my case, I had to use a few, but if you're dealing with a perfectly level slab, this hopefully won't be an issue. Okay, so we have the shims on both sides to give us a perfectly level post. You can see if we put it there, we're looking pretty level there, and also on this side. And once we have that, we'll go ahead and tighten these guys down. After confirming that the post is level, you're going to now fully tighten your nuts, and you want to do this gradually. Don't tighten one all the way down and then go to the next, just kind of go uniformly. And then trim off any of the excess shim using a utility knife to score along the post, and then snap off the excess. Repeat the railing post installation process for all of the rest of the posts needed for your project. Now, if any of your concrete expansion bolts are sticking up a little bit too high, you can use a reciprocating saw with a metal blade to trim all of those flush with the nut. I did this for all of the posts, unfortunately, and I used a piece of cardboard to actually protect the post, and that's why. Clean off any of the metal shards and then install the decorative post base cap like you're seeing. Do this for all the posts. Next up, we're going to install the railing, and to do this, I'm first going to install this bracket that goes at the top of each post. Refer to the video description for the exact name of all of this hardware. I'll have it linked down below. Preliminarily tighten everything up, and then if you have a flat railing, you're going to use the flat bracket, and if you have a curved circular railing, you're going to use the circular. We have flat in this case, and we're going to go ahead and preliminarily get it installed there with the provided hardware. Now, it's finally time to install the railing, and to do this, I put it in place preliminarily, and I used some bar clamps to hold it in place while I got everything lined up and measured. So for my railing, I decided to make some rough cuts first. I marked at around 48 inches for the longer segment, and I'm going to go down to my miter saw equipped with a metal blade and cut that just so I have 2 more manageable segments. Then I'm going to take the adapter clip that came with the railing to find my angle for the stairs right there. So as you can see, I have it clipped in place. It's meeting up, obviously not at the perfect angle. I'm checking the bottom bracket to make sure that it's perfectly flush. And then I'm going to use my angle finder to find the angle between the flat section at the top and the angled section at the bottom. So I purchased this angle finder off of Amazon. I'll link it in the description. And using it, I found that the angle between the railing was around 141 degrees. And if you remembered anything from geometry, we know that right angles add up to 90 degrees. If we have 141 degrees, that means we have 51 degrees left over on that one right angle, which means we have 39 degrees to make up the remaining 90. But we have a miter cut, so we're going to take that 39 degrees and divide it by 2 to get the angle for each of our miters. So set your saw to the appropriate angle, and remember, you want to cut it vertically for this type of railing, and then make sure that your saw is equipped with a metal blade. I'm cutting that one segment right there, which is a longer segment, and then the smaller segment, both at the same angle. Depending on the quality of the saw blade you use, you might find some jagged edges on the railing. If so, clean that up with a file before proceeding. The last thing you want is a jagged edge on a railing. Not a good look. So after cleaning up the miters, I temporarily fastened the railing to the post using some bar clamps, and then I used that adapter to attach the two segments of railing together. Here's the moment of truth. How does the miter look? Not bad. I can live with that. Looks pretty good on that side, and then I did the other side as well. Both of them turned out pretty dang good. So here's how the railings look preliminarily placed on the posts. Now we're going to go underneath and we're going to mark the actual bolt locations so that we can take it down and pre-drill the bolt holes. This drill bit came with the Muzata railing set, and you're going to pre-drill the holes for each bracket that's going to attach your railing to the post below. You also want to pre-drill the holes so that you can bolt the adapter together on both sides of the angle. Follow the manufacturer's instructions and then use the provided hardware to actually fasten the railing to the post below. Repeat this for all of the posts and then tighten everything up permanently. To install the railing end caps, I recommend you use some construction adhesive because they didn't really stay on their own. So now that we have the railing post installed as well as the railing, we can finally install the cable. Now, if anything that I say here is not clear, Muzata has a ton of literature on their website as well as many detailed installation videos, so follow along as best you can, but refer to their additional resources if you need it. So I pre-cut all of my cable, I measured the distance between the posts and added about 1 inch just to give myself a little cushion. And as you can see, this vinyl wrapped cable doesn't fit within the hardware, so you're gonna have to trim off the last bit of segment with a utility knife. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not too bad. After trimming off the jacketing, you'll be able to fit the cable within the hardware, and then you're gonna wanna install the 3 threaded fasteners, which are gonna hold that cable in place within the hardware permanently. Be sure to tighten everything up snugly so it doesn't come out later down the line. And repeat this process for all of the cable you're going to need for your project. And this is where cable railings get annoying because there is a lot of hardware, but I think the look is well worth it. Next, take the adhesive backing and put it on each of the washer sleeves, and you'll see why in a minute, but essentially we're going to thread 2 of these sleeves onto each of the cables, and these are going to go and attach to the post later on. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So at this point, we're going to push our inner terminal into the post there and give it a test to make sure that it's not going nowhere. Then cut the other side to length and trim off the jacketing as needed. You're going to have to do a little bit of trial and error to figure out what length you're going to need so that you can tighten everything to your desired tension. On the opposite side of the inner terminal piece of hardware, you're going to have something called a tensioner, and this is going to have a threaded bolt that goes through the opposite end of the post, and you're going to tighten that up using the socket wrench. This is a redundant process, so repeat this for all the cable in your project. After finishing up the flat section, we're going to move on to the stairs, and you're going to insert the inner terminal at the top of the stairway, make sure that it's secure. Then you're going to trim off the vinyl coating and install the tensioner on the bottom. There you can see where we're going to have our threaded connection. And for the angle of the stairs, there's something called an angle washer, which is going to try to match the angle of the stairs and give you a more clean look. Thread the bolt into the tensioner and tighten everything up. Again, use the socket wrench, and that's going to basically catch on the tensioner so you can tighten up the cable without it twisting. Here I am showing how the socket wrench mates with the tensioner, and then tighten everything up to your desired tension. It's also recommended that you tension the cable sequentially as shown, and if you don't, your cable railing will for sure explode. Don't say I didn't warn you. So at this point, all you need to do is repeat this process for all of the cable involved in your project. It's pretty redundant, it's going to take you a few hours, but it's really not too bad. Lastly, if you remember those adhesive sleeves, now you're going to peel off the paper and you're going to stick it to the post, and that's going to cover up where the wire actually intersects with the post. It's more of an aesthetic thing than anything else. With that said, let's take a look at the final result.
Hey everybody, welcome back to A Little Mountain Life. My name is Don, and today's video is all about a follow-up to our cable railing project. We've got cable railing on our beautiful deck up here, and we also have cable railing inside the house. So we're going to talk about how it's held up in the elements, some mistakes I made installing them, and repairs I've had to do since the installation, and some tips and tricks to help you avoid what I did and make sure that your install goes successfully. Now, the cable and the hardware that we use for our projects is all made by a company named Muzata. And Muzata reached out to us to see if we could do a follow-up video to provide more information for people that are researching a cable railing project at their house. There's a lot of manufacturers out there for you to choose from when it comes to cable railing, different options from all over the place, Amazon and other websites. We chose Muzata because we thought it was a great value option. It's not the cheapest and it's not the most expensive, and it's a really good quality product that has stood the test of time. This railing has been installed for over 18 months now on our deck. It's been out in full sun, it's been through the elements, it's been through winter, heat and cold, everything, and it has held up perfectly fine. The cable itself is stainless steel and is wrapped in a black vinyl coating. So way back when we first had the deck built about 18 months ago, and we had to put the railing on the deck, of course, I was able to get our deck builder to pre-cut all of our posts for the railing, and then I could actually take my drill and pre-drill all of the holes and make sure that all the hardware was set up before they would install the actual railing. So they were able to put everything up in place, and then I was able to install the cable after the fact, and that definitely saved us a lot of money. When you look at paying an installer to install a cable railing for your deck or patio or whatever, it's going to be a lot of money because it takes a lot of time to do that kind of a project. With the product that Muzata sells, it's really easy to get the components, put it together, and as long as you have time for the project, you can sit down and you can get the job done. Now, if the idea of designing a cable railing project seems a little daunting to you, they actually have a service where you can get in contact with them and they can help design it for you and tell you how much cable you need as far as the length and how many cables you need for as tall as your railing is, what type of cable, what type of hardware, all that kind of good stuff. So if you'd rather have like a design made for you so you can just set it and forget it and put it in place, you can definitely reach out to them for that and they'll help you out. In my case, I was able to take the information I had from our local building code and understand how many sets of cable I needed to fill in the gap from the base of the deck to the top of the handrail. And with our local code, and this is pretty much nationwide, you cannot have any gaps wider than 4 inches. So if you have like lateral or horizontal bracing, it cannot span greater than 4 inches. You don't want a space where a little baby can reach through or fall through your deck, of course. So with that in mind, in this case we opted for 3-inch spacing for all of our cable runs, and that way we can accommodate for any times where the cable might kind of stretch a little bit, especially in between the posts, and that way we still were not exceeding 4 inches when the cable did stretch a bit. So you definitely want to think about safety when doing the railing. It's meant to keep you from falling off. Even if you don't have building codes where you are, look at the National Building Code, look at the 4-inch gap that I mentioned, and definitely if you need to, put more cable in instead of less. You don't want that gap to get a little too open and then have an accident happen. So Muzata offers a lot of different options for hardware, especially with the anchors that anchor the cable at the end of the run. Some hardware is pretty simple and cheaper looking, and other hardware is a little more sophisticated and a little more expensive. So behind our deck here is our actual house. It's our pole barn house that we've been finishing the inside of for a very long time now. But inside we actually have an open air loft where we put the exact same cable railing. And just like we focused on for outside with the spacing of 3 inches, we did the same thing inside. Our girls are up there, they're gonna spend a lot of time up there, and we wanna make sure that that spacing is nice and tight so there's nothing and no one slipping through. All right, so now let's talk about some of the mistakes I made when it came to installing our cable railing. When installing cable railing, you're definitely going to need to take a look at the tools that you'll need to get the job done. Like this crimp tool here, I used this for the install on the deck out here, but one of the big mistakes I made was inside the house when I first installed the loft railing. I did not get this. I thought to myself, I don't need a special $100 crimp tool to do the crimp. I can just get a wrench and kind of modify it and pinch down on the anchors and it will work fine. And it totally did not work fine. The makeshift crimps that I put on those anchors failed. the cables pulled out, and I had to redo it all again with the proper tool. So after failing inside the house, I knew that for this project outside, I had to get the right tool for the job. Muzata sells crimpers, and I'm sure there's other types of crimpers out there, but it just makes sense to buy the tools from the same company that builds the hardware. And with the crimper, you're gonna have a little insert there that'll go inside the crimping tool, and it's a pneumatic crimper, so you don't have to really rely on your brute strength to get the job done. And it's really important that you make sure that these inserts are the right size for the hardware that you're using. It's probably a good idea to have some extra hardware and extra cable so you can do some test crimps to make sure that it's tightening down and being really strong for your application. So like everything else with our home build, I realized that having the right tool for the job will save you time and money in the long run, so you don't have to buy multiple things and spend a lot of time trying to make something work that probably will never work. So from our original video where we did the cable railing on the deck, we talked about why we chose cable railing. We wanted to preserve the view so that no matter where you were sitting inside the house or on the deck, if the railing was there, you could basically see through it and see these beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains here in Virginia. The thought of having these little vertical spindles all the way through the deck and kind of obstructing the view, that was just not our cup of tea. You could do glass railing, but glass railing is extremely expensive and you gotta clean it. With this cable railing, there's not much to clean at all. Maybe just wipe it down every now and then when it gets dirty, and it really helps keep the view nice and open. You'll have different options with the cable that you choose. You can just stick with stainless steel, but with our house being black, we opted for the black vinyl coating to kind of tie it all together. Another one of the proprietary tools for the job is this little wrench that Muzata will send out with their hardware, and this wrench has all the different little cutouts to help you wrench down and tighten your cable railing hardware, especially with the anchors. Now after about 18 months of being out here, even though they're stainless steel cables, they did stretch a little bit and maybe the hardware loosened just a little bit. So definitely I would say after about a year or so, take a look at your cable railing and make sure you're checking it with a wrench to make sure it's nice and tight. Again, so that you don't have any spots where you're gonna get more than 4 inches in between your railing sets to make sure you're at code and safe. Really all it took for me was a couple rotations with the wrench to make sure it's tight again, and it's been holding great ever since. So all this time later, we're definitely still big fans of the cable railing, especially the product that Muzata makes. I know it sounds a little bit like a commercial, and they did ask us to kind of put up more information on their products, but seriously, it's worked out great. And there's still a lot of people commenting on that old video that we put out way over a year ago now. So if you have any questions about your cable railing project, if you're just looking into it for the very first time, let us know, give us a comment down below, ask any questions you have, and I'll try to answer those questions to the best of my ability, trying to help you guys out get your cable railing going at your place. Make sure you check out the link below to Muzata. They've got a lot of great information on their website. You can see all the hardware and cables that they offer. And remember, I talked before about how they have a design service available. So you can reach out to them and they can help you design your next cable railing project. We have at least one more big deck build in our future, hopefully in the next year or so. And we plan on using the same Muzata deck railing system to make that deck as beautiful as this one. Appreciate you guys watching this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Good morning and welcome back up to our property up here in southern Utah. It's been a few days since we picked up the camera. We have been working away on this deck, trying to stay warm, but I think it looks really good. We're all the way past the door now. We just got a little bit left to do before this side is completed, and then we can start on the railing on this side and get this side completely done, and then we'll continue over to that side. But that brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Muzata. They sent us over all the railing cables for our deck. I'm excited to do that because I like the cable railing system. It doesn't like block the view out the deck. We have awesome views, so having just little cables saves the view. Anyway, it's cold. It's time to let the tools warm me up, so I'm gonna get to work. 2 little notches. When it's like that, I gotta cut out the whole thing.
Oh, is that the way this one is over here? Beautiful, babe. so cold the camera's starting to shake a little bit.
Really? There's ice on the wood.
That is brand new.
It's taking a lot longer than I want it to, because now that we have a railing here and a post here and a post there, I only get like 2 or 3 boards before I have to measure and cut 3-4 times to get it to fit right. We only got 10 feet left, 20 more boards roughly. That's just slow. Now I gotta put another post right there. And it's cold, like it's windy, it's cold. We're on, like the sun's on that side, the whole thing's shaded over here, which makes me think that as soon as this thing sloughs off, it's gonna be
Maybe a mess.
awesome. We need to get a snowblower. These aren't the best conditions to put this butyl tape down. There's like a little bit of ice and snow, but it's sticking in some places and some places it's not. But I'm hoping that once it dries, it'll stick. And then once we put the decking on there, we're screwing it down anyway, so it's not going anywhere. I have a feeling I'm gonna get comments about that. All that?
Yeah, you're smoking, baby.
Yeah.
Pretty dandy hole, if I should say so myself.
It's hot.
What are the chances we could get a hole in one?
I hope good, because I don't want to do this again.
We were lucky with the last one we did.
That is true. We got that one on one.
Let's go, bring it on over.
Yeah.
Come on, big daddy. I know, you're freezing your little tuchus off.
Yeah, I've been out here all day.
Woo! You hear that wind? Oh, brutal.
I need to go my way like a foot.
Okay. I have my jacket on, so go ahead and just pull it.
Go down.
Whoa. That is lovely right there.
Ouch.
Butter, right?
I think it's good, actually.
Silky smooth.
Got 90% of the way done with this side. We got like a few pieces left. You can see that little sliver, and we are out of our butylene tape. So we need to run into town, get some more, and a few other things that we're gonna need to put in this cable system that we're gonna be putting in. By the time we get here, it's gonna be dark. We will see you guys in the morning. Welcome back, another day. My dog is like fearless, going on the edge. We went into town yesterday evening and got the things we needed. So now we can finish this little triangle thing, and then we will be pretty much done with this side. And we can go ahead and put a chalk line down this length of this and rip that whole thing off, so then it'll look like a normal shape. It's all like crazy right now. That's the best way to make it like a straight edge. As soon as we get that done, we're gonna start putting a railing on this long side right here. Make it a little safer up here for the kids. So excited to see what it's gonna look like. I'm just gonna get to work and try to knock this out today. Should be good.
How you feeling?
Feeling
Feeling
like I'm
good as hell.
Right?
Holy ice cube. Man
I
down.
was like, what was that?
Oh my gosh, there's like ice sitting right there. It's about ready to fall.
Oh yeah. I got this whole side done except for that little corner, but I have to put 2 posts right there, and it's just a pain in the butt. So the kids are gonna go out here and run around, so I wanna like cut this edge and then put these railings on, just a little bit of safety. The urge to come out here is getting more and more by these kids and everyone. Really.
Everyone, really.
Now that we can do this entire back rail, we can do the cable system and the top of the rails, the railing.
The 2x6s?
Yeah, and then also we're about to right now have a chalk line. We're gonna this whole thing and cut all these little pieces off so it's a nice straight line, and then we'll do that side, and then probably right here too. I think it's not gonna be that difficult, just to clean up the edges. Then we can start putting some railing on. I feel like it's so every little step is like cool. I've been doing this decking for the whole time, and I'm like ready to do something different.
All right, let's get this chalk line going then.
Okay, you want to put it on that screw right there?
It's around the screw right now. That was really smart of you to give me a screw.
Anytime, dude.
Are you ready for me to chalk it?
Is that tight? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
It's a nice looking chalk line, yeah?
Yeah. That is looking so good.
You like it?
Yes.
It cleans it up a lot, huh? Look at all them pieces of wood. 1, 2, 3, not it.
Oh, I'm sure Annie the maid over here will have to stack wood tonight. How's that arm workout?
More like a finger workout. It's pretty good. It's like,
Is it?
a tiny, tiny bit, yeah. If you really don't, if you just, no one will know.
No one will see it. No one will know.
Let's go do that side over there.
So straight. Ah, good job, babe. You're the man. You're the deck man.
Thank you.
There's sawdust in my eye.
Oh no.
I'm like a pirate right now. Ow. It's scratching. Oh, wood.
Thanks for the wood though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm sitting in on right now.
All right, so we got a bunch of 2x6x16s up here, and we're gonna be using these for the top rail. And then on this end one, I'm just gonna do a 45. That way it'll meet up with these ones that go down here. I can get 3 posts per 2x6, so I just need 1. I need like 3 of them up here, 4 of them. Well, shouldn't be that hard to do. Should be pretty quick. So like I said at the beginning of this video, Muzata is the sponsor of today's video, and they sent us over all the cables and the tools and the connection and the swatch. I don't know the name of it. The crimp fittings, I guess you call them. to put these cable railing systems in. When they came to us, it was super cool because we were starting the deck process we wanted to do anyways. We went ahead and made a template. We're gonna do a cable every 4 inches, and it's gonna be centered on the 4x4s. So I'll have it 1 3/4 inches in. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on every single 4x4. And I have a foot long, a 12-inch long, 3/16 drill bit so that I can go through straight as possible, make these things look even and straight throughout the whole process. We did get the 1/8-inch diameter cable. And then at the very bottom, we're gonna do a 2x6 like toe kick kind of thing, just to help like any like toys and stuff like that from just rolling off our deck. So this is why there's nothing here.
And or babies, children.
But we're not having any more babies.
Come on.
We're gonna go ahead and do this long side right here first, and that's probably all we're gonna have time for today because it's starting to get cold. So I'm gonna clamp this on every single one and just start drilling the hole all the way through.
It's gonna be hard, but you can take it. When you cry, then you will take it. Get it a bit and you will take it. The feeling's strong and you'll make it. Don't you let it get you down. Just keep getting up when you hit the ground. Don't you let it get you down. Just keep getting up when you hit the ground. Gotta be real with it. Never give up, never give up.
Well, Ricky is done with school, and that means that Daddy is in crunch mode now because we had to take the truck into the shop, and I know he is dying to get it back. So we'll have to take a drive late tonight. We're gonna go get that truck, which means we need to get this wire in.
It's just a spade bit.
Oh.
Nothing crazy. These go on the ends because these guys go on the end.
Okay.
So this will be a bigger hole, obviously.
Okay.
I gotta do that to these sides, and then we can start pulling some cable, babe.
Woo la la. So on the end pieces, you don't have to go all the way through?
No, I'll tell you, we gotta bore it out a little bit more. We gotta use a bigger drill bit.
Okay. There's like this little sliver of sunshine that I am definitely gonna find. Just gather myself into it. Little piece of sunshine.
No idea like what I needed when I was doing the deck or building it as far as like railing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just sent, it's pretty cool. They offer like free design and
Muzata does?
Muzata, yeah. So like I sent in like pictures of our deck, like in our drawings and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, you need this, you can use this, you can use this. This is 150 feet, so I should be able to get 3 rounds out of it. Oh, this is easy, huh?
Yes, thank you, Muzata. Super easy.
So you just stick this inside there and you twist it, and then that holds it, and then you go to the other side and then you twist it and cut it the right length, tighten up. Yeah, that's why I drilled that kind of deep, those holes, so that I had like the adjustability to like, so you put your little cable through here, and then it has like a little thingy on it. Boom. You just go screw her in there. They sent all these tools too. Nice and tight.
It's like a guitar.
Probably tighten it more too if I wanted, but it's holding good, right?
Yeah,
That's gonna look good.
it makes me feel a lot more safe and secure with the kids and everybody up here. Even the dog, because he's like hanging out on the edge of the deck all the time. Working on the end, I just keep taking the little cable all the way down. I like the simplicity of this, like even I could do it. Catch you on the other side.
Are you gonna hang out up there?
Yeah, it's sunny over here. So one roll of cable should get you 3 passes.
It's 150 feet.
I feel like I'm turning into a cat lady. Roxy, what are you doing up there? It's like a balancing act for you. Hi, girl. I got Cloudy and Roxy. And Milo's over here. I'm turning into a cat lady. I don't know if you can get her. There she is. Cloudy, you're so cute. I love it. I feel like it's looking so good. Do you love it?
Yeah, I love it. I like it because it's like a railing, but also it doesn't like block the view, you know?
Yeah, it's really thin, so it's just nice. Like it just...
And they're tight, like.
Remember that one time when I messed everything up?
Yeah, just happened. You want to tell everybody what you did?
Oh my gosh, I ran it through the wrong hole.
What would happen to me if I did that to you, huh?
Nothing. I'm like the most nice person ever.
Nothing? You would.
I wouldn't have done anything. Accidents happen.
Hole, no problem. I'll remember that.
Have a lot of work to do,
We do.
but we're getting somewhere.
We got this whole front piece done. It is getting cold. Sun's going down, and I want to go get my truck. So we're gonna call it a day. We wanted to thank Muzata for sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much for sending us the cables for the railing. If you guys are interested and you guys have a project you need a railing for, go check the link in our description.
Head down to the description section and check us out and check it out if
yeah.
you're interested in Muzata.
Yeah, if you guys are, anyway. Thank you so much for following us along. I can't talk right now, so.
Thank you guys
Like,
for following
comment,
our...
and subscribe. We'll see you guys in a few days.
We'll see you in a few days.
Hey everybody, today we're going to be building this huge 50-foot trellis out of stainless steel cable and eye hooks. I've partnered with Muzata for this video. I'm going to leave links to all the items I'm using in the video description. I'm using 1/8 inch cable, M6 eye hooks that you see here, M6 hooks and eye turnbuckles, and they're all made from either 3/16 or 304 stainless steel. The turnbuckles also come with a couple of types of sleeves and thimbles to connect the cables. I've been really impressed with the build quality and finish of all the products, but I'll talk to those a little bit more later. My design has 16 eye hooks on each post, so I pre-drilled all the holes using a simple jig. I partially screwed all the eye bolts in by hand. I then went back and used an Allen wrench inserted into my drill to drive them all in. This saved a lot of time. I think it probably took about 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours for this entire project from start to finish. Connecting the first cable took a bit of fumbling, but you just insert the cable into the aluminum sleeve around the eye hook and add in the thimble if you're using one. Then you crimp the sleeve with the crimper. You can use the included cable clamp if you don't have a crimper, although it's only $40. Here's a close-up from the documentation on how it should look if you're not using a thimble. On the turnbuckle side, you just cut the cable to length and crimp it with the sleeve and thimble inserted in the same way. And once you have the cable crimped, you can spin the center of the turnbuckle to tighten the cable. I timed it out, and after the first or second run, once you have the hang of it, it really only took me about 3 minutes per stretch of cable. As you can see on my last run, there's much less fumbling about. I'm going to speed things up to 4x now, so you know about how long it takes. Alright, so visually I think this setup looks good, but I decided I wanted to have a couple more vertical paths for the plants to climb, so I went back and added those. And there we are. Off camera, I also trimmed down all the excess cable by each crimp so that it'd be a bit more tidy. Next year, I'm going to come back and do an update video to show you what it looks like once the vines come in. I think it's going to look really nice. I'll be curious to see how they grow on the cables, or if they can kind of span across those divides. As I said before, I've been really impressed with the hardware from Muzata. It's all really high quality and there's no finish issues, no sharp edges, anything like that. I've actually purchased Muzata hardware before for previous projects, none of which have made it into videos, but I've been really happy with that hardware as well. In total, this 50-foot run I think costs about $350 to $400 US, but your cost is obviously going to vary depending on your design and will be dramatically less if you are doing something smaller. Alright, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I am a bit behind on videos, as you're probably all aware, but I have quite a bit of footage from various projects, including building of this new house, that I'm going to eventually make into videos for this channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next episode.
In today's episode, we'll walk through the process of measuring and planning out your railing system, adding blocking under each post, securing each metal post and tying into existing wood posts, doing the step area, installing and tightening the cabling, adding top rails, and we'll mix in tips and things I learned to hopefully help you install your railing system as smooth and efficiently as possible. We spend a lot of time together out on the deck as a family and with friends, barbecuing and enjoying the summer nights, and the cable railing system has been a safe solution and one that doesn't get in the way of your views.
Hi, Rebecca Brand. I've just redone my living room and also my railing. This is a Muzata railing. It's a cable railing with reinforced steel. It's really strong. This whole railing was a kit I got from Muzata, and I ordered the handrail as well. It's amazing that I could get this online and then get it installed into my brand new remodeled living room. I chose this brushed steel color to go with my decor. There's many to choose from, but I liked it with my fixture that was brushed stainless steel. And I thought this would look really great with my lavender series of oil paintings that I did. My living room now reflects me. Check out my living room before the remodel. Look at that banister. When I bought the house, the railing only had the center post as the supports. I had young children, so I added the dowels in the middle. How bad is that? It's been so long, the original baby gate is even here. It's time for a remodel. Goodbye. That's a lot of fun. My floors were the most ugly brown carpeting I could imagine and filthy. And my fireplace was this old-fashioned 1972 used red brick. It needed to be modernized. So I did a simple repainting of my fireplace and I redid all of my hardwood floors to this really beautiful engineered wood planking to the color of my liking. Now that color really went well with the porcelain tile from my kitchen. And the crowning glory of my whole room is the Muzata railing. This stairway is really quite awkward. It's right against the door, so when you walk in, you feel like you're gonna fall down a hole. It's always been that way, and there's nothing I can do about that for the time being. But to upgrade my railing to be the beautiful stainless steel with the cables, that was just the way to bring this room up into the new century. When you go to the Muzata website, they have all these different projects you can do with their railings. You can do outdoor projects, and for me, I wanted to do an indoor project. And they had many different designs to choose from and different materials. And because of that, I was able to customize just the look I wanted. So when you fill out the form as a new customer, you're gonna provide some specific product information of what you wanna order, and you're gonna select some product preferences. Some pictures of the project that you're looking to do. So I sent them over a screenshot of this. This was my old banister railings handrail. That's the old stuff. The design team is going to collect the form information I just filled out and is going to recommend products, which is really helpful. But you might wonder, how did I know everything I needed? Well, that wasn't an issue. Now, I didn't need to know every little rivet I needed, or the length of cabling, or even the length of the steel that they were going to send me. Now, these are kits. All I did was draw out with a measuring tape a simple crude drawing of what the project was. I just emailed them, and the project designer figured out everything I would need for my railing project and sent it all to my house. And the same thing for my handrail. That was so amazing. That's why you can order your whole project online. Along the way, they give you receipts of everything you ordered. They price it out for you. It all was very reasonable. It'll also assess the budget. Based on the information I put in, it's going to tell me how much that particular project is going to cost from what I chose. Because budget was a concern for me, so I wanted to know how much I'd be spending for this railing. They help you through all of that. And everything you order from Muzata arrives right to your door. Muzata did a really great job too of making sure it was packaged with bubble wrap and all kinds of plastic and other things so it wouldn't get damaged during shipping. That was great because you never know what's going to go clunk and happen in the back of a delivery truck. So all the pieces arrived and I laid them out for you to see what they look like. This is everything I got in the packages they sent me. There's all the rails, there's all the parts, all the screws, all the bolts, all the pieces of how it's all going to fit together. There's the cable, and there's even the tools I needed. to do the whole entire railing and handrail. And even after you purchase your railing, they have a professional customer service team that's available for online consultation in case you get a little confused. They have great customer service, which is what you want with a project like this. It was really wonderful and amazing. I had no idea I could do this and lead this project by myself in my home just by clicking on that Muzata link for the Muzata website. So with all confidence, I went ahead and I watched their videos to install this. They have a zillion on their website depending on exactly which railing you choose. It was so impressive. Look at all those different videos. I'm just going down the screen. Any of those you can click on to see. And here's a quick example. It is so detailed. It is so clear on how to put them together. I felt it still was a little beyond me. I didn't have the right kind of saw, and I just wanted the assistance. So I hired someone in my area. I just went on Craigslist. I had all these people that wanted to put this railing up for me very inexpensively. 1/10 the cost of the railing, and the railing was really inexpensive with that handrail. It was amazing. And finally, my floors were finished and it was time to put the railing in. My stairwell was done too. Getting those floors in took the most time on my living room remodel. Installing the railing was so fast. This railing was started this morning and it's completed right now, and here I am making this video. No joke. Here's some video I took with my iPhone because my photographers weren't even here at the time. This is the beginning steps of how the railing was going in. And then in only 1 hour, it was well under construction. So you see the posts, they're installed. It was super easy to put them to the base of my floor. And then the wires were connected through. The posts themselves were just a measuring thing. They probably got in 20 minutes. The contractor explained how easy it was to thread the wires through, and they have these really nice finishing ends to it. These are the washers, so they come with a little sticky pad. Even I put them on. That was kind of fun to be participatory in my new railing. And he finished by putting the wires through down the post so it would be compliant with all California building codes. Think United States too. Anything in America, this is code compliant. I'm wearing my high heels, but this is a 3-foot tall railing. It's 36 inches to the top. That's code. It was amazing how easily this was to put together. The kit was absolutely great. Everything came with it. And then it was time for the staircase handrail. And the handrail was installed so fast. It was secured against the wall, the brackets came with the handrail, and I custom lengthed my handrail for exactly the length down my staircase. Now here you see the final shots of that. I am so thrilled with the way my railing turned out. My Muzata railing helped me build an easy and beautiful life for a beautiful redo of my living room where people enter to hang out and enjoy my company. That's the most important room of your house. Muzata has been a leading manufacturer of cable railings for over 20 years. They are in the business of making home renovation easy and affordable. And this is a new whole system to order and get your interior railings and design components in one stop online with Muzata. The railing is such a beautiful, sleek, and gorgeous design compared to traditional railings. It's got that modern touch I wanted that makes my interior look so great with my painting and my floors. This was exactly the modern touch to complement what I already had going on. Now I want you to take a real good look at the real narrow cable design. Now that cable is thin and it disappears as you look through it. Now in art, because I'm an artist, I know how important it is for elements like these cables to not be visible to the eye. Now look through the cables, through to the painting, and through to what's on the other side, and you see the cables disappear and the pretty posts really accentuate the room. I did not need to use a designer once I found out about Muzata. They helped me through all the intricacies. I just had to choose the look I wanted, which was easy. Muzata has always focused on innovation and research for interior design and exterior design with their railings. Traditional railings can be bulky, works really well in an interior